Carvana, a leading digital car seller in the United States, just announced a $2 billion acquisition to buy a car auction site to get more into used car sales, which is their existing business model. So what's going on with that? Let's find out. So, there's some confusion, I think, around Carvana. You read this TechCrunch article. They call Carvana a used car marketplace, which Carvana is not a used car marketplace. Carvana is buying used cars, fixing them up a little bit, and then reselling them. And they've got those nice like elevator type retail stores that, catch people's eye while they're driving by. They've done a very good job with marketing. IPO'd like 5 years ago at $11 a share. Stock's been cratering the past year or so, but it's still at like, $100 a share, even though in 2021 it peaked at like $360 a share, right? So hasn't had a good ride in the past year or so, but certainly from IPO days, it's still up. I'm joined here by Nick Johnson, co-author and managing director at Applico. Nick, what is this thing that they bought, and does it make sense to you? Is this a good deal?
ADESA is the kind of wholesale auction marketplace, so it's typically salvage vehicles, repossessed vehicles, insurance companies, dealers selling vehicles they can't sell to other dealers. It's wholesale, so it's fully B2B. It used to be owned by, or it was being sold by, a company called Car Global, spelled K-A-R, who has basically a conglomerate of software businesses kind of around the services for dealers and these sorts of things. And ADESA is being bought basically by Carvana from Car Global. I think one of the challenges that ADESA has had in the U.S. and why Car might be looking to exit that investment is you have some new up and coming businesses like ACV Auctions that have done really well in this B2B auction space for vehicles. So I think on the car side, that might be why this makes sense. And on the Carvana side, the game is inventory, and can they get access to more inventory from these wholesale channels? And that's why I think they're really going after this, fairly sizable acquisition for them of ADESA. ADESA is going to give them a lot more of these inventory from B2B sources, which then they hope they're going to be able to sell to Carvana customers.
Yeah, it's an interesting play where, as you were saying with ACV, yes, it's wholesale, but the magic is it's really dealer to dealer. So you're still selling small quantities of cars, maybe just one car, maybe a few cars. You're providing liquidity to car dealers that get a lot of trade-ins, right? So I'm a Ford dealer, someone's got a GM. I'll let you trade in your GM car, but I'm not going to sell that GM car as a Ford dealer out to a consumer, but I'd go and trade that and go and use ACV to go and, kind of do that deal with another dealer. Seems like ADESA maybe was doing some of that business, but really ACV was, taking the lead in that arena. Is that what you're saying, Nick?
ADESA has been around a lot longer than ACV. ACV is, there's a couple other of these competitors. ACV is kind of the new kid on the block that has really been taken off, as a startup, VC funded startup over the last 5 years. ADESA is a bit of a legacy business compared to that. Their roots are in kind of physical auctions. They have 56 sites that Carvana is acquiring where they inspect and, actually host physical auctions of the vehicles. They also, of course, now have a digital presence. But it's kind of a sort of analog platform become digital over time. So that's the challenge there, is that some of the newcomers in that business, and there's some other big players there as well, that it's becoming more crowded, and having an off ramp for a lot of their inventory in a Carvana, from a synergy perspective, I could see how that makes sense. Carvana also then gets the 56 physical sites where they can inspect and recondition vehicles, which is part of the ADESA business that feeds naturally into what Carvana wants to do, which is sell high quality used inventory through its vending machine. So from the Carvana perspective, it's more inventory, physical infrastructure to scale the business. I can see the combination logic from that point of view.
Can they digitize this kind of more traditional business? Kind of reminds me of like Ritchie Brothers doing heavy equipment auctions in person, right? Yeah, it's a marketplace. It's just not much of a digital marketplace, but yeah, it's like, it's an old school marketplace. Can Carvana help make that digital execution be successful to thwart rising disruptors like ACV? And yet at the same time, with Carvana's access to consumers, could they now provide a more attractive pricing option in the wholesale channel if they can successfully kind of connect those dots? Makes sense. Seems like it comes down to some execution. And it's kind of funny to see the linear player Carvana, which many people, including TechCrunch, get confused with as a marketplace, is, to kind of now move from linear business into marketplace business, albeit in the B2B space. So an interesting pairing for sure.
It's a big bet from Carvana. 2.2 billion is, I think, got to be the biggest acquisition they've made. So it's a big bet, and we'll see how it pays off.
Hi, I'm Alex. Thanks for watching the show. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, but even better, make sure to follow us on Odyssey, follow us on Rumble, and text us 203-646-5159. Text the word Monopoly. You'll be subscribed. You'll get updates about when we're going live, our latest videos, and we'll send you even a little goodie bag. And in the event that we all get banned from big tech, we'll still be connected.